Welcome to Whitlock Garage. We're united by trucks. Today, we're actually at Two Trucks Ron's garage, and we're back to work LS swapping Pecos. So if you hadn't seen the LS swapping a square body video, we've been LS swapping Two Trucks Ron's 84 square body, call him Pecos. We'll link that video down in the description, but we've been LS swapping this truck. We're back on it today. Ron's done a little bit throughout the week. Obviously, we don't live in the same place, so I've had to come over here. I think swapping the tank today, so doing some improvements and modifications and getting the new tank in, as well as, what's the other thing we were gonna do?
We're gonna measure for drive shaft.
Measure for a drive shaft, prime the oil pump, and spin the motor.
Prime the oil pump, spin the motor.
So, still not firing it up yet, but hopefully we're going to bring that to you on camera as that happens probably toward the end of next week. But y'all stay tuned. We're going to be showing you a little bit more about what it takes to LS swap a Squarebody C10. So before we jump into actually doing the stuff we're going to do today, Ron's actually got a couple things done this week. Not a whole lot, but made some progress, and he's going to tell us a little bit about that.
So far it's just been trial and error, fitting a part, fitting the next part, double checking it, making sure everything gets along together. I've got the transcooler put in. And then I had the condensers in, the radiators in. I've trimmed for the lower hose, got that in, the upper hose fit. I've got new water pump gaskets, so I'll put that on. I've notched the frame rail for the AC compressor. Because what's the point of having an LS swap if you don't have AC in it?
Easy now.
And then measured all the stuff and ordered all the stuff for the lines for the transcooler. Still waiting on a couple exhaust pieces to show up so we can actually fully mount the headers and hook them up to the exhaust. I'd probably be a lot further along if my OCD wasn't so bad. Nobody will ever see it, but I went and put nut certs in behind this. It takes a few more minutes. It takes a tool. Luckily I have the tool. If you just put a nut and a bolt behind it, once I have the condenser in, I wouldn't be able to have any access if I ever had to take this out. So at least now it's just a straight bolt-in affair. Yeah. So if I ever need to take this out, I just take the grill out, take the center support out, which I did have to notch the center support a little bit to clear that. So other than that, it's just been basically mock-up.
Yeah, and ordering parts and waiting.
Ordering parts, mock-up, order the next little bit, order some more parts. Maybe I'm pretty much down to the last order. The O2 sensors were ordered. The biggest deal is we're down to cutting a drive shaft, basically, and wiring it up.
Alright guys, so we're pulling this tank, and I'll be honest with you, Ron may not want me to tell this, but I've never pulled a square body tank before, and I don't think he has either. So first time for everything. What we are doing right now is pulling the brackets off the side of the frame rail. Looks like there's like 8 bolts maybe that attach this whole bracketry to the side of the frame rail. I think once we get that out, we can lower this whole deal down and then take the brackets loose from the actual tank itself to swap the tank. So we're doing that now. So you've already taken these hoses loose.
Yeah, the hoses, they're all loose up at the top right there.
Okay. Or fuel lines, I should say. Man, I just cut the shit out of myself. Down to the flesh, man.
Oh, you know what's good for cuts?
Right there on this freaking piece of metal.
Tech tip 101. You know what the best Band-Aid is in the shop?
What?
Yellow 3M tape.
Give me what you got, because I don't want to cut myself again right there. Y'all can't see it, but man, I just sliced myself open wide right there. That sucker is split. Ugh. You got any of that tape you telling me about? This sucker's an open wound over here.
I'll put the paint thinner in. See a whole roll of Band-Aid.
What I ought to do. I'm gonna hang up on right there.
Don't patch it, man. You go like full combat on that thing and just
Gotta wear it like a bracelet.
Yeah.
I think it's a little too tight. All right, front side of this thing. Yeah, keep going, keep going. That's good.
Just enough to hold it.
Just enough to hold it. So we got to come this way with it.
That's what it looks like.
All right. I want to let this.
Yeah, drop the jack down some.
You good?
Yeah.
Don't let them stab you now.
You good? It should be good right there. Hold that for a minute.
All right. You get this thing loose over here. There is a. I think we'll have to take it loose right here at the snout.
Alright, let her down a little bit more then.
Here we come.
Go ahead. Hey.
Whoa. Too much?
No, you're good.
Don't let it go and hit the cameras.
Grab that other jack and slide it under the rear.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 wires up here I gotta get loose.
Alright. We're gonna get this thing.
Perfect. Boom.
Tell everybody under there what you're doing.
Getting ready to cut these 34, 35-year-old rubber hoses.
Probably got fuel in them.
Well, only one way to find out. Hey, we're trying to pull them over here.
We're trying to do something here, Penny. Yo, Pen.
Just drop the jack like a little bit, each one of them.
Yeah.
So I can get my hand up in here and see where these wires are.
Alright, I'm dropping the one in front of you first.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like directly in front of you is what I'm saying.
It's just my gonads, nothing special.
That's why I gave you advance warning.
Yo, hold what you got right there. There goes one strap out of the way. Let's go ahead. I got kids, we're good.
Yeah, no doubt. Alright, I'm gonna start there. Come on over here. Now I'm coming to the front.
Go ahead.
Hold that one there and drop the other one down some more. Can we clear?
Yeah, slide your front jack out. Or slide your rear jack out, either way. Slide your front jack out.
Rear jack, whatever jack.
Alright, now. Boom.
Boom.
2 trucks.
2 trucks.
Twilight Zone.
As you can see, we got the gas tank out. Ron managed to not get anything in his eye, which is amazing. So here it is. That's a stock 84 gas tank. Still in good condition, super dirty, but that's getting replaced. And Penny don't like it. Penny, say something. All right, so what we're doing right now is getting these brackets off and straps so we can wrap these around the new tank. So I think probably what we'll do, clean them up, hit them with some black spray paint, and then wrap them around the new tank. And then we'll tell you a little bit more about it. Ron, are we salvaging this filler neck hose?
Yeah, I'd like to clean that up a little bit too.
So we're going to salvage this filler neck hose, clean it up, this right here, and we're going to get this bad boy back in the truck. Y'all hang tight. You ready?
Oh yeah.
Alright.
One out of the way.
Make it 2. Watch out. Alright. So while this looks a little dirty, it is definitely effective. So we're gonna just clean it up, probably get some of this off of it and reuse it. Because why not use OEM parts when you can? Ron, tell us about this setup again, real quick.
Tank sink setup, sending unit, fuel pump, it's got a Walbro 255 in it.
And we got all these fittings.
All this fitting, hoses over here.
Corvette regulator there. So we're about to take this entire fitting and hose kit and start putting it together. You can see we're going to use these instructions because, well, I've never put one like this together before. I put one together before on Teddy, but this is a little bit different. So we're going to spend some time putting all this together.
We'll get the lines run and all that stuff up to at least to the fuel rail. Still waiting on the one fuel rail. It's on the swap list, but you got to get a fuel rail from a 06 and up truck. It takes the return line out of it, so basically the fuel rail will just have the one plug and just go straight into that. I'm waiting on that. I don't think it'll be here until Monday.
Okay.
So once I get that, it'll basically just be one connect. Where I put these in, put the injectors in it, connect it, done.
Cool. So all that to say, we're gonna have the fuel line run up to about where the rail is gonna be. And that may be all we get done today, but it might not be. So we're gonna work on this now and show y'all what it looks like. First things first, we got this Corvette regulator, and I've cut myself. So as Ron would say, I got the shop Band-Aid on, this 3M yellow tape holding my cut together. Anyway, Corvette regulator, you got basically your line that's going to run up to the fuel rail, single feed. You got your return line here that will come off of the return line and the fuel pump. You got your send line that'll run up. Essentially, it runs in and then pushes out this side and goes up to the fuel rail. So we've got this quick connect with a 6AN on it already that's provided in the Tanks Inc. setup, and we're going to finish building out these lines. So y'all hang tight. So we got the push locks on the return and inlet line with the 6AN on the end of the regulator. So that, I don't know if I've told y'all this, but this regulator is going to go on the side of the frame rail. So it'll run, you'll have the tank back here, you have the regulator, and you have the engine up here.
At least I've got two for my trans.
Yeah, you're not having to buy those.
I'm not having to buy
You're
those.
essentially bought. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah, take those out and stuff them in that trans. But dang.
Robbie, does this look right?
1/4 inch MPT. That's it, man. Just 6AN. Yeah.
A 90 you would never get.
Yeah, 90 would hit this before you got it in there, but a 45.
45 you should be able to.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because it's more like a,
Yeah.
you know, it's like that. So we've had a slight issue with the fuel system, so we moved on to some other things really quickly. This is the kind of stuff that you can run into when putting an LS together. So essentially, fuel pump, return, send line, and these are the fittings that go in each port. So return and send. So what we're running into, and you can't really see it here, you can kind of see right here where there's some paint missing, but we need some 45s here because these fittings are running in to the edge of this tank. Of course, Tanks Inc. offers that, but for some reason it was not listed. This tank and this pump setup was not listed as needing the 45s, so Ron didn't order them, but we got them on the way now, and we're gonna work on getting this fuel system run at a later date, so we'll show you that. But you saw us getting the tank out. We've kind of walked through what this kit requires, and I think you've got a pretty good idea of what we're gonna be doing with it. All right, Ron, what are we talking about?
Talking about priming the oil pump, man.
All right.
Only thing I did was watch the video off of Melling's website, and they just say you take this plug out. Since I'm running new transcooler lines, I stole a piece of a transcooler. You need something small enough to fit in there. Put a little funnel on it. You can see that. So all you do is stick that in the side. Of course, I got an oil filter on. I put oil in the filter as well. And you just, I got a drain pan under it, and you start just pouring a little cup full of oil till you see it running out like that.
Oh yeah, see it running out down there.
When it starts running out like that, just
right down there.
put your cap back on, secure it.
They call that a oil pump primed.
Oil pump primed. That's what Melling says to do. That's what I did, and then I'll fill it full of oil. And
not only has he been priming the oil pump,
do the Freiburger long pour.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna fill this thing full of oil. Make sure I got oil coming up into the head. That way there I can put the valve cover gaskets on. Go ahead and bolt on the coil packs, all that stuff. That way there I know I got oil in it before I get everything hooked up, get everything bolted down, the waste gaskets and all that stuff, finding out that, you know, I'm not getting oil in the top end or something, which I don't see why I would. But I'm getting ready to put in the last knock sensor and torque it down. Then we'll put the harness for it in, get that all set up, and we'll put some silicone in it to help keep the water out of it, keep the moisture out. And then I think we're going to try to put some front drive accessories on. Knock sensor, 15 foot-pounds according to the all data.
What's that tool you got there?
This is a Snap-on digital torque wrench, not mine, for all you people out there who say that. Everybody
putting an LS in his truck?
Yeah.
One in his hand, really?
Everybody think I got a bunch of money or something like that. I actually borrowed this tool from my buddy Kevin, at Kevin Low Peas.
Ooh, low P's.
Low Peas, L-O-W.
Like literally low P's.
L-O-W-P-A-S. So, I've bought some tools to do this stuff, and Kevin's bought some tools, so we kind of, he lives right around the corner from me, so we do a little sharing. This thing is super cool. It gives you a green light, and then it also vibrates in your hand too, so, and it gives you a red light if you over torque. Pretty cool. Like I said, not mine. I borrowed it, but what are car friends for if you don't help each other out? Yeah.
Working on getting the knock sensor harness in. So as most of you know, or maybe you don't, but there is a known problem with particularly Gen 3 LS motors where they get a lot of water down in those knock sensor holes. So Ron advised me to do this on mine, and he was right, because when I pulled the old knock sensor boot off, it was slap full of water and rusted down in that valley cover. So Ron's doing the same. Basically what he's done is replaced the knock sensors in both the valley cover ports there, and now he's running a new harness. Not a super duper expensive thing to do, but something that will make your motor be a lot more sound. And Ron has actually got a little trick that he uses to help keep water out of the knock sensor holes or ports. Ron, what you mixing up here, buddy?
I just got some clear silicone. I'd take some, like basically RTV, whatever you want to call it. I usually put some around this, and then I pull. This will snap in, but you put it around like that. Just a little extra insurance. Try to keep as much water out as you can. I mean, by the time you buy these, the knock sensors and you buy the harness, I mean, you're probably talking every bit of 100.
Yeah, definitely 120.
Yeah, easily. So whatever you can do to.
Not a super duper expensive thing, but in the grand scheme of things,
it's really hard to get to. I mean, you got to take everything back off, so you'd be wasting gaskets. And
yeah, it's definitely the purpose of getting in there and doing it while you're doing the swap. So number one recommendation, if you're dealing with a junkyard motor or a motor you pulled from another vehicle that definitely has a little miles on it, go ahead and replace that knock sensor. Go ahead and replace both knock sensors.
And then I usually put a little dab around the harness opening as well. Try to keep that out. And then the fun part.
What do you call this?
I call it basically you just building a dam.
An old dam.
But again, the whole point of this is to try to keep moisture, water, anything out. I usually just take and start a bead, and I just go from one bolt And it ain't gotta be pretty, it ain't gotta be perfect, but I just go from kind of one bolt to the other bolt.
And the reason for doing that is because obviously your motor has a tilt toward the rear. So the water coming in the front of the valley cover or the front of the intake running on top of the valley cover is going to run directly towards those NOx sensors, and the one in the rear in particular is going to, you know, catch the brunt of the moisture and water coming in there. So that just gives you a little extra insurance. What are we doing right now?
Well, again, OE water pump gaskets. I'm gonna put I drove the donor for probably about 6 months or so. Right after I got it, the thermostat went bad, so it's got a new thermostat and it's got a new water pump on it. But since I took it off, I bought new gaskets to put on there. That's one of the benefits of buying a donor, is the fact that you can run it, you can drive it. I mean, I knew this thing ran, drove everything. Really helps make a difference in, you know, the quality of your swap and really how happy you're gonna end up with it.
It's a new water pump. So much fun having a friend who films instead of a friend who lends a hand, right?
Another cool thing too about this water pump is the bolts that are in it. They're pretty long bolts, but they're also the exact same thread pitch as the bolts that go in the camshaft.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about trying to hold the cam and all that stuff. Just use 3 of your water pump bolts, put it in the end of the camshaft, and you can hold the bolts, and it helps you slide the cam in when you get all the way in the back.
Sweet. So we're in the truck now. I actually forgot my big camera, so I'm recording this on my iPhone, but we forgot to show you us measuring for the drive shaft. So I use American drive shaft. I'm actually about to pull up now, but they suggest pushing your drive shaft in all the way till it bottoms out in the trans and measure center of the U-joint to center of the U-joint from there. So what we've come up with, and I'll show you the drive shaft here in a minute, we've come up with 58.5 inches is what we need on Ron's Squarebody Pecos. Dropping that off now. This drive shaft is actually going to have to be lengthened, so we're getting this drive shaft lengthened and balanced. You got to have a 27 spline yoke that goes into the trans. I'm not sure what it is for 4L80Es. We really only deal with 4L60Es or 700R4s, which they're the same. 27 spline, and then the correct U-joint. In this case, I don't know what this U-joint is, but this drive shaft is from a donor Tahoe, so it already fit in the square body yoke coming out of the pumpkin. We're gonna drop this off. I'm gonna show you what this drive shaft looks like here in a minute, just so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. And we're gonna pick it back up in the next couple of days and take it back up to Ron. So sorry about the wind noise outside, but as I was just discussing, 27 spline yoke there. I believe this drive shaft is out of a Tahoe of the same year as the motor came out of, so I would say 02, 03, something like that. You can see where we just wrote down on here what the measurement was, but essentially we measured from the center of this U-joint with the drive shaft pushed all the way into the trans. We measured from the center of this U-joint. Guys, real quick, point of clarification. So when I was talking about the drive shaft and where we measured from U-joint to U-joint, I actually misspoke. We measured from the U-joint at the front of the drive shaft where the yoke goes into the transmission to the actual yoke at the differential where the U-joint would then attach. So we measured from the middle of where the U-joint on the end of the drive shaft would attach all the way to the center of the U-joint at the front of the drive shaft. We measured from where it attaches to the front of the differential all the way up to the center of the U-joint at the front of the drive shaft that goes into the trans. So quick point of clarification on that, just so you guys don't beat me up in the comments. Drive shaft shop, American Drive Shaft in Marietta, Georgia, said they would compensate for a little bit of play, because obviously you don't want your drive shaft or your yoke all the way in the trans, but they would compensate for it when they lengthened it so that you would just have the appropriate amount, which is probably somewhere right around in this area, the appropriate amount inside the trans. So we're dropping this off right now at American Drive Shaft. These guys always take care of me. They took care of me on my Squarebody. They're taking care of me on Teddy. So they're awesome. So we're gonna drop this off right now. We'll get this back to Ron and get it in Pecos. Hope you've enjoyed some more of the LS swapping a square body footage, so you can see that we run into a little bit of issues, and that's just bound to happen when you're doing this type of swap. But we made some more progress. May not look like much on camera, but every little bit helps. So we're gonna come back over to Ron sometime next week, work on it some more. We're gonna keep you updated as we do that. We get this tank in sometime next week, keep making progress. And Ron's gonna keep making progress even though I'm not here. So we'll show you what he's done the next time we come back over here. But appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Leave us a like down below the video if you like what you're seeing here, and leave us a comment. Let us know what kind of issues you've run into when you were doing your LS swap, or any motor swap for that matter. Let us know what kind of issues you run into. Thanks for tuning into Whitlock Garage. We'll catch you next time. Cue the music.